Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Together we are two of the Office Blokes.
We are indeed. Mike's left.
Yes.
Yeah. Now. He said I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
And then went out, jumped in the van and sped off.
It's not hard to drive vans anymore, is he?
Not the white one.
Right. Right.
The other ones are all logoed up, so he can drive the ones that are logoed.
Right. Oh, it's ice cream vans that is banned from driving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Near schools. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Office Bloke Mike is just doing whatever he does. What are you doing, Mike? There you go. We are going to check in with Decoy voice and see what he's got to say. See his light-hearted, satirical takes on culture.
Yeah, modern day. What would you call it? Topical news.
Yeah. Leave NYC now.
Leave New York City now.
I know, like, love him or hate him. When Tucker Carlson did that interview with Putin, he was talking about the subway system or the metro system or whatever it's called in Moscow, saying how beautiful it was and comparing it to New York, and saying he's got kids that lives in New York and it's not safe for him to ride the subway anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much. I've never been. I've never been to Moscow or New York.
Yeah.
Can't comment on either. But I think he got a lot of stick for people saying you're essentially slagging off something American.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
Yeah, he sounds compare. I'm not sure if he's going to go down the immigration route here. I went out with an American couple last night, and we got talking on the subject of politics and what's happening in our country and what's happening in their country, and so like comparing the two. And it seems we've got a lot of issues that relate around the same problems that the government are trying to sort of like tackle, but are not doing a great job at it. It
seems like that, doesn't it? The immigration argument seems to be crazy, like undocumented immigration.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm all for immigration and bringing in the right caliber and the right sort of like the right people for the right jobs type thing.
Absolutely,
and doing that without a doubt. And I've been an immigrant for half of my life type thing, and I know what it's like, and I know how things change for you very quickly, sort of thing. And it's but sometimes it's you can't just have mass migration.
You can't have undocumented,
no.
and you can't have anyone can come.
Yeah,
like I watched that Channel 5 with Adam Callahan, is it, that used to do All Gas No Breaks that we reacted to, and he did a thing about the border, and he's fluent in Spanish for a start, so he's actually talking to people coming across the border, but then he got in trouble because he actually went across and then illegally entered the US, even though he's a US citizen.
But you still got to go down the right channels.
You do.
You got to have your passport sort of like
he didn't
realise.
He didn't realise. He got in a bit of trouble for it.
Yeah.
So did his camera crew. But he did a really good job of breaking down the sort of migration crisis, and like at that Texas border, it's like there's loads of Bangladeshi, Chinese, African nations, Congolese people, and things like that. And it's like when you hear about it as a foreigner, you think like as a Brit. You think it's all people from South America,
Central America,
yeah. And when you realise that people are flying 3,000 miles on a plane to get to Mexico and stuff, it's such a complicated, crazy issue.
I watched a border force type program, and they had two guys who were pulled over in England, and they said, "Where have you flown in from?" They said, "Brazil," and I'm looking at them thinking they're not Brazilian. They had a foreign accent. I'm like, they're definitely not Brazilian, right? Yeah. And they come across they had Brazilian passports. But one of them wasn't speaking Portuguese, which is a big giveaway.
Yeah.
So the guy started speaking to him in Portuguese, and the guy just was staring at him. And I'm like, definitely been caught out here.
Yeah.
And it turns out they're from Albania.
Right.
Flying in from Brazil to get entry into the UK.
Yeah. See, I can see, obviously, there's corruption all around the world. And one problem with globalism and everything being together is that a country that maybe doesn't have the best economy or wants to make a bit of extra cash could essentially say, anyone can come here, live here for a couple of months, get citizenship, get a passport, and then legally travel to other places.
Other countries that accept it.
Yeah, and then you're kind of taking illegal migration as a business. And finding loopholes. I'm sure there's countries doing that.
100%. There'd be loopholes everywhere with different people trying different tricks, and fake documentation now is very easy to come by.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably get caught 90% of the time, but you take that risk of the 10% that you won't get caught. Let's see what he's got to say here.
So, I mean, if this is even about migration.
Yeah, it might not be about that,
Like you say, anyone who wants a better life, wants to work hard. I mean, if we wanted to move to Australia tomorrow, both of us would probably get denied, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And there's a key set of criteria you've got to tick off, and be able to sustain yourself when you get there and contribute to
Yeah.
the economy and
Yeah.
stuff. I think everywhere should just be like that.
I'd get in Australia tomorrow.
You think?
Yeah.
You'd find a way.
My skill set, what I've got for work-wise, will get me in.
It definitely gets harder once you get over 40, allegedly.
Yeah, but I've got a skill set that they lack over there.
Right.
Yeah, for the job I was in before.
Fair enough.
So I know that I'd be okay.
There are key sectors
Yeah.
where if you've got a skill or a qualification, then
I'd quite easily get a sponsor.
Yeah.
In Australia.
I've got a mate that's moving over there in a couple of months, and his plan all along, he lived there for a year, came back, he's got family over there. He found out they need podiatrists.
Right.
And he went and trained to be a podiatrist, and he's worked for the past couple of years doing that.
Yeah.
And now moving straight back there. Massive wage, really sought after job there.
Yeah. It's expensive when you're there as well.
I bet.
It's expensive to live there. Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. Let's check it out. Leave NYC now from Decoy Voice.
In a New York City subway, a 36-year-old man in a black jacket begins to berate a 32-year-old man in a yellow shirt.
I'll beat you up. I'll beat you up. You're not gonna move. You're not gonna move.
Move, baby girl.
Now, during the scuffle, Black Jacket gets cut, but blames a woman that came to Yellow Shirt's assistance.
You stabbed me, right? You stabbed me?
But then the passengers see Black Jacket pull out the steel.
No, I'm getting out. I'm getting out.
And as the subway doors open, shots rang out.
Gun.
While the passengers on the subway cower in fear, the NYPD arrives to the scene, and Black Jacket is taken away in critical condition. Now, the Daily Mail's reporting on the incident states Black Jacket flashed the blade first, and also pulled out the two-way tool on Yellow Shirt, but Yellow Shirt was able to control the weapon, turning it on Black Jacket. As Yellow Shirt has now been taken into custody, unclear if this will be considered self-defense, as this is just a terrible event for everyone involved. For all the subway passengers, as they'll likely be traumatized for the rest of their lives. Yellow Shirt, as he nearly lost his life, but saving his own might still cost him his freedom, as in New York City subways, self-defense can sometimes get you locked up, but also for that idiot in the black jacket who allegedly pulled out not one but two dangerous items and had them both get sent back into his own body. But what exactly could New York City have done to prevent this from happening? Pretending it's not happening? Already doing that.
And double-digit decreases in subway crime in February 2024, because I heard you say that it's up in February. It's actually down.
Checking subway passengers' bags? Already doing that. Deploying the military? Already doing that. I know, let's place additional taxes on drivers, forcing more poor people into the subways.
We want to get more people off the roads. We have the world's greatest, most robust 600 miles of subway trains that take people around. I'm making the subway safer.
Now, they could continue down this path of passing more laws and dystopian police check.
We did a video about that, didn't we? The congestion charge or the clean air charge or whatever that they brought in New York, or they're bringing in. And we said the same over here. They're trying to do it in Greater Manchester, and it'll be everyone has to pay to enter or leave. A huge area.
Yeah, it's massive area.
Yeah, and it's like you don't have public transport covering that whole area. It's dog shit.
Yeah.
So you can't penalise people for being in a car when you're not providing safe public transport
correct.
for people to use as an alternative.
Correct, and these, I'd love to be in a, when you get these politicians who sit there and spout out figures, double-digit decreases, and this is increased, and that's come down, and that's. I'm like, show me the physical numbers, get the numbers up.
Yeah,
let's have a look. Talk me through it.
I used to listen to a program on Radio 4 that was all about statistics every Friday, and it literally shows you, like, people would hear something like that, the double-digit decrease, and they'll send it into this show and say, can you investigate and find out what that means? And then they get behind the statistics and say, it comes from this study that only had like a catchment area of like half a mile, and it breaks it down to how much you're being lied to with statistics.
Oh, it's when people fall for all kinds of bollocks. The biggest one for me at the moment is the fuel prices for petrol and gasoline. Yeah. Right. They go to them, it's coming down, they said. And I go, coming down from what? Yeah. Last year was £1 a litre.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then it went up to £2 a litre. Now it's $1.50.
Yeah.
It's not coming down. It's still gone up by 50%.
It's like when supermarkets, they do, like, it's the Pringles metric, it's called in this country. I don't know if it happens in other countries, but the price of Pringles, and when they're going to do half price Pringles, they double the price. So suddenly it's £3 for a tube of Pringles, but then they'll do half price and sell them you for $1.50. And it's like, if you actually, it's a bit of a joke, a bit of a meme, where if you follow the price of Pringles, you see this at the bottom level of cheapest they've been for 2 months. And it's like, because you doubled the price 2 months ago. It's nonsense.
I seen the thing the other day, and it's this is what you're dealing with some people. There's a massive billboard outside. I think it's Asda, and it says like buy your like a croissant type Danish or a croissant for £1.59, right? And it's a massive billboard with a massive picture on it, like probably 20 foot by 10 foot, and at the bottom it says not actual size. I'm like, for fuck's sake. I'm like, you have to put that on there to tell people, go, no, I wanted that one.
Guy turns up in his pickup truck going, I'm here for my croissant.
And I'm like, is that what we're dealing with now in society?
It is the
that you
world
have to
we
tell
live in.
them that.
Yeah. It's just we just need more straight talking people that answer questions. Like, I'm sick of all politicians at the moment. When you see them ask a simple question and then they have to dance their way around an answer and say 5 paragraphs to answer one simple question.
Well,
I don't trust anyone who does that.
It's election time at the moment. It's coming up to a general election over here, so they're all going to be out and about, door knocking and patrolling the streets, filling your head with bullshit. Yeah. And this is when I hit the streets as well, let them try to find me. Yeah. But I know they'll definitely avoid me. I know they will. They'll see me and just think, nope, not our target.
Just answer the questions. And stop bullshitting your way around it. We need politicians who actually stand up for what they believe, regardless of what that is. Yeah. Stand up for what you believe. Die on that hill happily.
The problem is, though, they get in there on what they believe. They get elected, and all of a sudden, money takes over. Yeah. Greed kicks in. They get access to public funds. They get access to different. I mean, we're diverging here, so they're diverting. Yeah. And
it's cushy. It's paying the bills, isn't it? So why ruffle the feathers by saying something?
And then they all come in that same sort of like bullshit. Society that they live in.
Oh, you're all charging £100,000 for expenses to buy your toilet paper and your pens and stuff. I better do it then. Dicks.
Exactly.
Subway safer.
Now, they could continue down this path of passing more laws and dystopian police checkpoints on the common citizen, but I don't quite think that would have stopped this particular incident from occurring, because I'm gonna make an assumption here. A man that would bring in both a blade and a two-way tool into the subway isn't your average law-abiding citizen, as I somehow doubt a mild-mannered accountant aggressively starts fights with random dudes in the subway, and I'm willing to bet as more information is released, I imagine he is someone already known to the police, but is just casually walking free over the city's soft-on-crime policies. And sad to say, everybody in that subway car suddenly knows that too. So if you appreciate my concise, sometimes lighthearted commentary on the tragic status of today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on how defunded police departments are actually turning to a bootleg blade. And I actually...
Yeah, I like Decoy voice. A lot of the stuff he says, he kind of like, he gives it in a way of like, this is what it is. Make your own mind up type thing, but this is what it is.
He tends to keep it sort of apolitical, doesn't he? Like, can tell that he's obviously maybe a bit more conservative leaning.
Yeah.
But he doesn't he's not like preaching and trying to spout political views. He's just saying this is
what
absurd.
it is. Yeah,
know,
he didn't go down the route. He didn't go down the migration route sort of thing, which is what I thought he was sort of like leaning towards with getting out of New York. Because I know New York, Chicago, places like that have got issues with being bussed in.
Sanctuary
hotels,
cities, aren't they?
Yeah, hotels are sort of like turning into a lot of... this is what I'm being told by people who live there.
Yeah, the governor of Texas is doing it, isn't he? Because they... I think he's got an issue with the fact that a lot of the cities where they don't have to deal with the problem because they're miles away, passing legislation that dictates how Texas deals with migrants. And he goes, right, if you're a sanctuary city... put everyone on a bus and send them to the sanctuary city.
And it's all, again, it'd be politically motivated to where they go and how they, and what they're there for the census purposes. But I don't know. It's like I say, it's not my country with the USA.
No,
I know what we're going through here.
I think like you said before, we're going through very similar issues where everything seems to be defunded. Like there's no money in the pot to fix roads. At one point, we need 20,000 new police. At the next point, they're making police redundant because there's not. It's like, what are you on about? There should be. I mean, the UK is the 6th biggest economy in the world, and we run it like we're a third world country.
Might have even gone down 7th now.
It will be 10th in the next 10 years. It's just like,
I don't know where the money goes, but
I do. We do know where it is.
I know where it goes. I just can't prove it yet. I'm going to get mine back.
Yeah, it's all of the non-dom status politicians that don't pay tax. Anyway,
hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.